welcome back. This is the second video of the relaunch. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but more like I have a lot of time on my hands and so I can't make excuses anymore. That's what we'll call it, or something shorter. But anyway, so what we're watching right now, or what you're watching around me, is making a page. So this is going to be like part one of probably two parts. I started off with this page. It was already blue lined and laid out. That's kind of how I do all my writing. I think I talked about this before. Sometimes I thumbnail in the sketchbook, but mostly I have just kind of like a little outline bullet points of what I want to do or what I think are neat ideas, and I just start doing it on the page and laying it out in blue pencil. I really like using the blue pencil because I don't have to erase it. However, sometimes I would say mess up, but I don't really know what I'm doing, at that point or ever. But I definitely like sometimes put something down. I'm like, oh no, I want to change that. And I found the blue pencil that I use, which once again is in this Prismacolor, and I think the brand I'm using is a Prismacolor goes with it. It doesn't erase very well at all. Even though the whole point is so you don't have to erase. But I mean, sometimes I want to change the border or change the way the characters posed, and I can't really do it. And even when I use these, which I think are Stadler blue pencils, let me grab one that actually has, even these, like, they didn't really erase that well either. So I used to try to draw it out in blue line and pencil it in blue line and then ink it, and so, but now kind of as a middle ground so I can still make adjustments, and that's what you're seeing me do here is I'll lay it out in blue line and then I'll go back and I'll pencil it over with HB lead. So then I do that. That's where I am right now in the video because I have it kind of queued up next to me, so this kind of makes sense. I'm penciling out here this part. This is a flashback, the professor talking to the heroes. This is kind of alluded to in the first issue. So if you don't have that, you can go check it out on Webtoons. It's all up on there. I only made like 15 of those first issues, so I think I still have like 3 or 4 on me. They're all out in the wild now. But anyway, this kind of scene's alluded to, and so now it's kind of like from the professor's perspective. And, I don't want to give too much of the story away. Not that there's really much to give away, but, he's like, oh no, all is lost kind of deal. And so now I'm just lettering. I use the Ames lettering guide here that I didn't even know existed until I started watching kayfabe a year or two ago. They first brought it up, and then, of course, I think Jim Rugg did a lettering video this year on it. So I went out and got one from Blick, and I've been using it. And at the beginning here, it's kind of, this is all sped up, it's like 5 or 6 times real speed. But it kept bouncing off the T-square, which I have on my desk, and I couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, oh man, did I like break this plastic letter? Like, I just assumed I did something wrong. And of course I did. But what I done, I just left a piece of tape on the back that I use on the drawing board because everything likes to slide off of this. It's actually something I hate is like drawing up on this angle, but my back will definitely like give out if I'm leaning over all day. Even though I still lean over on this, but because it's like less of an angle, it's a little better. But anyway, I have to put tape on the back of a lot of these things, and so I'd left the tape on the paper. And so of course when I was running the lettering guide over it, it was bumping on it and I was sliding it off the ruler. So then I figured that out and I took care of the rest. What else? So here I'm still lettering the video, whatever. So let me tell you a little bit about this little video series, these 2 videos I'm going to do. So this is part 1. This is the layout to the pencil stage and then pencils to the lettering I think I do in this one. So I go in and kind of do the script on the spot. Actually, the one thing I like to do is what I'm doing here is I'll take the kneaded eraser and I will kind of run it over top of the lines to kind of ghost them a little bit. It makes it easier to see when I'm writing the letters over top, and then when I go into ink, it makes it easier to distinguish like where the line was from the lettering guide and where the line is for like a T or an H, and I know this sounds simple. I mean, I've been writing forever, but if I ghost the guidelines first, then it's a lot easier. And then I go in, I write it out in pencil, and I kind of read over it, and I make sure I spelled everything correctly. I'm a teacher, but I'm a science teacher. I tell the kids all the time, like, I'm a B-, C+ speller at best. So I have to go, and you'll see me, I like check on my phone to make sure I spell something correctly. Anyway, and then I'll letter it out and I'll look at it and then I'll ink the letters right away because the ink has to dry before I can erase it. And I, for whatever reason, even though for some it's not a big deal, if I'm erasing, well, there's two things that are huge deals to me that probably shouldn't be. One, smudging the ink, even if it's just a little bit. I feel like I got kicked in the heart. I can't deal with that. So I definitely do the lettering right away because to me that's the part that has to be like the most precise and legible to read. So I'll ink it first. That way it has like a whole day to dry before I even try to erase it. And then I erase it. And then so if it smudges, that's one thing I can't stand. And then the other one is lifting, right? So erasing and pulling the ink up with it. So I don't know about you guys, but I got this from a recommendation. I never could really find an eraser that worked well enough for me. The kneaded eraser is really good at pulling up the loose graphite, but I would call it like whatever the opposite of heavy duty is, light duty. It's really good at pulling up what's loose, but any pencil line that you actually like put some pressure into, which I have a really heavy hand, it's not gonna pull it up without taking some of the ink with it. For more heavy duty, I would use just the regular white erasers. I think this is a here we go. This is Stidler as well. That's this one. It's just been used more, and I would do this, and then that would lift up the ink really poorly. Well, it'd do a really good job of lifting it up, but that's not what I wanted. And so then I got these Vanish erasers, and so far they smell funny. Ugh, sorry. I just knew I was going to do that, but I mean, it's kind of like when someone says like, "Don't look at it," and you're like, "What? Where?" They kind of stink. But anyway, these seem to work pretty well. They're kind of the middle ground. They're soft and they have some sponginess to them, but they're not like the kneaded eraser. But they're definitely like softer than these regular white ones. And so this seems to be doing pretty well. So I've been using this and going over it, trying to have a light hand, but I just can't do that. I mean, not that I can't, but I don't seem to be very good at doing that. So anyway, now I'm going down, I'm lettering. I think I'm lettering with my 107, which I've shown you guys before. Just getting that done. And so anyway, so this video will end with me doing the lettering. I don't even think I do any of the borders or anything in this video. And then the next video I'll do, which I've already recorded, I just haven't put it together yet, is the second part. Me actually inking out the whole page, and then I don't know if I showed me erasing it. It's not like that's important, but erasing it. And then after I'm done inking it, I'll go from the inking stage to the erasing to the scanning. So the second video is going to be me scanning it in and coloring it by hand. So other than that, that's really about all I got. And so this video is going to wrap up in about 20 seconds. So let me tell you where you can find these. You can find on Webtoons and the Opossum. You can find me on Instagram at Swayze_crazy. There's a reason why in a story maybe I'll tell later. And other than that, keep checking in on here and feel free to watch the rest of the video. But that's it for me. And anyway, thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you later. Click.